Hello, and welcome to another Monday's live stream. Today, I am going to be sharing my top tips on how to structure a good LinkedIn post. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Bex from Social Media Executive, and I train businesses how to effectively use social media to generate more business and more leads. You'll find me every Monday live streaming here at 12:30. So make sure you come and join me, bring your butties, and we can have some lunch together. Again, if you're watching this live, please do give me a thumbs up and say hello, introduce yourselves in the chat. Tell me who you are, what type of business you're in, and any questions throughout this live stream as well, please do pop them in the chat for me. Oh, hi Amanda, thanks for saying hello. Happy Mondays. Hello. Again, if you're watching live, please just say hello in the chat. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about how do we structure a good LinkedIn post that gets high visibility. This is the one thing that stumps people all the time. You know, sometimes when you write a LinkedIn post and you think, I'm going to get loads of visibility for this post, and you get absolutely nothing. No likes, very little views or anything, and it's really quite disappointing. Well, today I'm going to show you how to structure a post that stands out in the newsfeed and is structured in a way that encourages engagement and gives you a high reach on LinkedIn. Okay, so before I start, I just want to talk to you a little bit about why LinkedIn is really good for content. So one thing is that LinkedIn is a very, very powerful tool if you create content. Because of this is because if you're on Facebook, people realize they've got to put posts on Facebook if you've got a business Facebook page. But on LinkedIn, people generally join with their personal profile and they don't actually think to post content. So very few people post. And I'm going to show you shortly an amazing statistic that people don't realize, which shows how few people post and why it's so brilliant to post on your LinkedIn profile, personal profile pages. Okay, so again, if you just joined the live stream, please do give us a thumbs up and please do say hello in the chat, ask any questions, promote your business, tell us what you do. So first of all, when you think about structuring a LinkedIn post, the first thing you need to do is obviously think about what you want to say. Now, the trouble is people fall into a trap. They go, okay, so I'm a business. I've got a wall planner, for example. I've got my wall planner. I need to sell it. Right, I'm going to write a post on LinkedIn. I go, buy now, buy my wall planner. Here you go. It's, $12.99. Buy it now. With a nice image of the product. And they pop it on LinkedIn. And the trouble is, yes, we want to, as a business, want to sell our stuff. But basically, if people are looking to buy, they're going to Google it. Okay. What we've got to remember is that people are not on social media to buy things. Okay. They're really not. So you've got to warm them up a little bit. If they wanted a wall planner, they'd go to Google and they'd search for it on Google wall planner. Whereas on your social media pages, you've got to be a little bit more sociable. Okay. Think about why your customers are on that platform. Oh, hi, Gary. Thanks for saying hello. Gary's from Belvoir Sales and Lettings in Warrington. Thank you. Thanks, Gary. Thanks for saying hi. So when you're structuring our LinkedIn post and thinking about the content, we've got to think about our customers foremost, potential customers, existing customers, people who are connected, people who are following us. Why are they following us? And how can we increase brand awareness and maybe increase the awareness of our products and services? So the way that we do this, first of all, is we tap into the minds of our ideal customers and we think, what's going to stop them scrolling on LinkedIn? Okay, what challenges might they have that we can solve? So how can we talk in their language to encourage them to stop scrolling and think, oh, actually, I'm interested in that. So first of all, you need to do a bit of a mapping exercise. Again, I'll be running through all this in a lot more detail in my LinkedIn workshop that I'm running in January. But you need to map out your ideal customer, think about those challenges they've got, and think about how they can solve, how your products and services can solve their problems, and how we can structure it in a simple way, in a non-salesy way, and pop it a post on LinkedIn. So there's a bit of work to do first before you jump in and write a post. Okay, there's a little bit of work to do. There's a big marketing strategy around it. And again, if you're interested, I am running a workshop on LinkedIn in January, which is open. It's done on Zoom, so it's accessible to anyone. And again, I will put the link in the comments. But when we're structuring that post, so we know what we want to talk about now. We know the challenges of our customers. We know we can't blatantly sell. So now let's get into the nitty-gritty on how do we structure it. Well, first of all, think about the language. And again, I'm just going to share some slides in a minute, which are going to show you how to structure a really good LinkedIn post. So I'll share some slides in a second. So basically, what you want to do is structure it in a very informal way. We want to get rid of the jargon, really simplify it, and talk in our customers' language. So the best type of language is the words, thinking about using like I've created a fantastic wall planner, things like that. Or do you ever need a wall planner that goes on the wall? Or, I was at an event last week. We all had a fantastic time. So be inclusive in what you're talking about and keep it quite informal. So use I, you, and we a lot. Because if you're scrolling through the newsfeed and you see something like do you ever get stuck on social media ideas on what to post? And you're scrolling through, this is the type of language I use when I'm talking, because I know my customers have a problem. One of the hardest things to do is come up with social media ideas sometimes. So I write that. So if anyone's got that challenge, oh gosh, I just can't think of what on earth I'm supposed to post today, but they see that, do you ever get stuck on social media ideas? They'll see that and they'll go, oh, yes, I do actually. So it resonates with them. So think about the language, okay? And use that I, you, and we, okay? And you've got to be yourself as well. When you are creating these posts, be yourself. Don't talk in, what used to be the sort of old marketing speak with using, very formal and things like that. Because LinkedIn, people are connected with you. They're not connected with the business. They want to talk to you. So it's got to have your personality in there. Now, I'm not saying, if you swear loads and things like that, don't put it on there. Although I know there are some people on LinkedIn who do take that route, and it resonates with their ideal customers because that's what they like. But think about your language. I personally would avoid bad language, but it certainly works out for some people if you want to stand out. Personally, I wouldn't use language like that, but think about the language that you do use. Also, if you were talking to a customer, say the customer's in the room here, say they were sat down next to me here, probably here, there's more room, they won't go and sit on the desk. So if they were sat here next to me, what language would I use? How would I talk to them? And quite often, we talk a lot more informally if we're face-to-face. So therefore, make sure when we are face-to-face, talk to them and use that language, use that same script and type it up and put it into LinkedIn. So that's a great idea. And also a good tip that I was talking about the other week was, and a good tip that actually I think Amanda, who's watching, I think she came up with that because she was a guest on one of my live streams and she does blogs. And a good tip is when you're writing it, read it back to yourself aloud. Does it make sense? Is the type of language you use to your customer? Okay, so I'm just going to jump into my PowerPoint now. PowerPoint, don't worry, it's got some example posts because now we need to think about, we know what we want to say, we know the language we want to use. So how do we actually jump in and structure that LinkedIn post? Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen. This always is a bit tricky, as those of you that watch my live streams on a regular basis know. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this up and add this to the stream. Okay, right. I'm hoping you can all see that. Let me know in the chat. Can you see that? That's me. And actually, if you scan here, it'll take you straight through to my LinkedIn profile. Okay. Oh, and somebody's put, thank you. Absolutely. That's a really good point. Absolutely no point whatsoever being one person on social media and another person face to face. Always be you. That's so much easier. Absolutely. It is. It's so much easier to be you. And also, if you're writing content on LinkedIn and it's not kind of the language that you use, it's really, really difficult. So thank you for that. Oh, that's from Amanda. Thanks, Amanda. Your name didn't come up for some reason this week. So yeah, no, that's a really, really good point. You've got to be comfortable with what you've got to say. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click through a few LinkedIn posts, okay? Now, content is key, and I mentioned this earlier in the video, and the reason why content is key on LinkedIn over and above all social media platforms is because most people join LinkedIn, they'll look at them, but most people lurk in the background, and actually only 1.7% of people actually share content weekly on LinkedIn. Now we've literally got, there's around 740 million active monthly users on LinkedIn, okay? And only 1.7% of them post. So if you post content, you are going to get seen much more easily than, say, if you posted on Facebook, where everyone knows they've got to post on there. So LinkedIn provides that fantastic opportunity. So I'm just going to jump into this slide now, and this is a slide I've just done recently, which did really well. And again, I really did think about how to structure this. I basically wanted to sell something. I wanted to sell my wall planner, my special days of the wall planner. Special days of the year wall planner. And again, it's new. No one had heard of it. This is a new product I've launched this year. So how would I work on structuring it? So to the left here, the first thing that you want to think about is the first 3 lines. As you can see, there's 3 lines we've got here on your LinkedIn, and then it clicks to see more. Now, the biggest mistake that people make, that I see, and see it on Facebook as well, is that they try and get all the text into this bit here before LinkedIn cuts them off and clicks on see more. Okay. Now, the thing is you want this see more button. That is absolutely what you want, because if people click on see more, it gives that little signal to LinkedIn to say, oh, people are interested in this. They're clicking see more. They want to read more. If people weren't interested in hearing what you were saying, they'd scroll straight past. They certainly wouldn't click this button. So therefore, the algorithms, the little robots in the background, love people clicking on this. Your post will get seen by more and more people if people start clicking on see more and reading it. Okay. So that's a really, really important tip, is you want to get quite a lot of information in here. You don't want to just stick to try and cram it all in those 3 lines. The other thing that you might have noticed is that I've spaced it out. Okay. I've spaced it out. I've put some little dots so it's easy to read, and I've used capital letters as well, just to highlight what I'm talking about. So when people are scrolling through, it's quite easy to read, rather than if you've got a big bank of a big, huge paragraph, it's difficult to read. People can't skim read it easily. And actually people are just like, oh, can't be bothered reading that. So keep it simple, really space it out. I've used capital letters to sort of highlight, but also what I've done is I've put, it's a wall planner, but not just any wall planner. It lists all those, it's cut it off. So if people want to know what it lists, they need to click see more. Okay. So be conscious of these first 3 lines. This is the thing people first see. If you can get them hanging, like, oh, well, what's she going to say next? And they click see more, you get loads of brownie points off LinkedIn. Those algorithms are going to love you, and those LinkedIn robots are going to share your post to even more people. Okay. Gary's just said, be authentic. Social media is a digital interview. Oh, that's interesting. That's a really good point, actually. And that actually brings us quite nicely onto the other thing, is about being yourself. You will often find lots of pictures of me. And it's not because I love pictures of me. I don't. I hate them. If I could get away with not putting any pictures of me, that would be fantastic. But let's face it, that's what I look like. So people are scrolling through. If they know me, they're going to go, oh, what's Bex doing? What's she up to now? Because they recognise me. Okay. If people don't like my content, that's fine. If they don't like me, if we don't gel, like Gary said, it's like an interview, isn't it, at the end of the day? That's fine. You're not going to be able to make everybody like you. But hopefully those people that do resonate with you, do like you, they're the ones that are going to pick up the phone or buy your stuff, basically, because they know, like, and trust you. Okay, so it's getting rid of those people that are never going to buy from you and actually showing your own personality on that, a bit like an interview. So yes, I'll put thanks, Carrie. Okay, so once we've clicked this see more button, then the best way to structure it is I tend to do every single sentence, more or less every single sentence, as a new paragraph, spaced out so it's easy to read. I also put it full of little emojis. I mean, just some arrows here, really pointing to that call to action. What should we do? What do I want people to do? Pointing to that call to action. The other thing that how I've structured it as well is I've added people in and I've mentioned people. Okay, people who've been involved in the project. I'm bringing them into the conversation, so hopefully they're going to like it. It's giving them kudos, and hopefully they're going to comment on it as well. Okay, so really structure it, space it out so it's easy to read, and also put some hashtags in as well. But hashtags that are relevant to your product and what you're talking about. Yeah, I would you'll very rarely see me use sort of hashtag Thursday thoughts or hashtag, I don't know, hashtag business, things like that. They're too wide, those sort of hashtags. They're too big. You're going to get lost in the noise of, let's face it, all the other businesses that we're talking about on LinkedIn. It's too big a hashtag to use. You want to use specific ones. So I've used things like hashtag wall planner, hashtag calendar, and hashtag social media, because that's exactly what it is. It's a wall planner to help you with your social media. Okay, so the next thing then that I just wanted to touch on, if we just move on to the next slide, is, again, images. So have a think about the type of images that you use, okay? So again, with this post, I've just talked about one of the big dilemmas I've had this year is, so, and it took me ages to structure this, I put my own dots in because I needed it to cut off so that people clicked see more. And again, this is only a couple of days old and I've got quite a few reactions from that already. But also I've spaced it out and I've put bullet points in there. But also what I'm doing in this one is asking for people's opinion. I'm encouraging comments, okay? So you really want to try and encourage engagement on your post. Try and encourage people to respond under your post. Try and encourage, so you can ask them questions. So here I've ended it with, what do you think? Have I made the right decision? Okay. And in the middle, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Okay. I appreciate it won't be everyone's cup of tea. So again, really just repeat it. This is quite a long post. It doesn't need to be this long really, but really look through asking questions. And the other thing that I've got on here, I haven't put I haven't put a link to the product. I haven't put a link to the website. Again, links are not going to help your posts. Basically, putting a link on your post is asking people to go to your website, and LinkedIn doesn't like that. It wants everybody to stay on the platform. So if you write a post with a link in, it is not going to help you at all. It's massively going to reduce that reach. The algorithms, the little LinkedIn robots, are only going to share it to a small proportion of people, whereas this one without a link will go to a larger proportion of your connections in their newsfeed. Okay. I mean, if you get a link and loads of people respond, then brilliant. Then it will go quite far, but it's got to be a really, really good post. Okay. So the next thing as well is you need to look at your images. What we are looking for is we've got to stop that scroll. So I mentioned earlier about putting pictures of you in. That works really well. But what is going to stop people scrolling? And I can tell you now, a beautifully crafted, branded post with stock photos that looks like it's staged, they don't do very well. Okay, so for all those people out there that spend hours constructing nice images for their social media, test it with some really quite unpolished posts, images. We've got to get people to stop scrolling. People immediately think a beautifully crafted image, they spent ages, they spent money on this, they must be trying to sell me something. Whereas a quick snapshot works really well. So this, I just took a little picture of the bottom of my calendar just to highlight the sustainability that I'd considered when doing my calendar. And all I did was a very quick little heart that's obviously hand drawn around it. And again, it stopped people scrolling because they're like, what's that about? Okay, I'm highlighting what this post is about very informally. Okay. So Amanda's just put, she loves a post that showcases values. And she doesn't know why her name's coming up this week, not coming up this week. I don't know, Amanda. I don't know why. And Gary has just said, people are nosy, so give them content to engage with. Exactly. People are nosy. Who thought Gogglebox would ever be a thing? Hey, people watching people watch TV. Who'd have thought it? Who'd have thought it? Right. Okay. So think about this then. And again, we've put our hashtags in the bottom. Okay. I haven't tagged anyone in on this, but again, I put my hashtag at the top there, COP26, because it's topical, it's newsworthy, and I've actually embedded that hashtag into the text. If you can embed hashtags into the text rather than just put them at the bottom, that has been proven to give your post a better reach. So do have a look at that. Okay, so then just a few more posts that I want to show you that have really done quite well in my newsfeed over the last couple of years. So this one on the left here, I just went out and I took a snapshot. Someone had reserved me, I went for a meeting at Rico, someone had reserved me a parking space, which was lovely. So Simon really kindly reserved me a parking space. It's horrendous place. You can't get a parking space there. So I was so chuffed. I just put a picture. And I just put, what small gesture makes a real impact on you? So the first thing I asked was a question. And then I sort of just put, I've just come back from a meeting today where I was greeted with not only a reserved parking space, but an actual sign with my name on. And I took a picture of it. And again, just gratefully received, tagged Simon in. And again, this reached 11,000 people. 23 comments, 93 likes. I'm not trying to sell anything, but it's raising my brand because here, for all those 11,000 people, they can see that I train businesses on social media. Okay, so no hard sell there. So really think about that. Gary's put, love that Rico post. Even he remembers that one. Oh, well, thank you, Gary. So even he saw that in my LinkedIn feed. And it was a while ago, that one. This one on the right-hand side, again, it only reached 3,000 people, but again, it got 65 likes and 26 comments. And all it was a mad selfie, not a flattering one at all, with my branding in the background, just to say, this is what I'm talking about today, alongside with Andrew Collier, and I tagged in who else I was presenting with, at whose event it was. So again, think about that. Pictures of you, they don't have to be highly crafted. Think about what stops you scrolling. What stops you scrolling and reading? Okay, what stops you? So I just want to finish on then something really important, because it's not about getting reach. It's not about how many views you can get. Okay, at the end of the day, we're on LinkedIn to do business. Okay, it's about what business we get. It's all very well if we get loads of views, but actually sometimes loads of views can be quite detrimental. So I just want to finally finish with a little case study. Okay, this basically on the left hand side here, I took two posts and I mashed them together, two really successful posts that I saw on LinkedIn. And again, I rewrote them. Completely rewrote them. I didn't copy them at all, but I took those two ideas and I created my own post. Just a text post, this was. All it was, text post. But at the first thing it said, if you spot this post, please could you give it a like? I'm conducting a little experiment to see how many people see it. Okay, so all I'm asking people to do is click a like. Obviously, it was cut off with the see more. I also then went on to ask people to promote themselves while they were here. And everybody loves promoting themselves. So this post reached over 70,000 people, okay? I had over 1,600 people like it, and 233 comments, because people were just telling people who they were. They were self-promoting. This post of all the 70,000 did not result in any new business for me. Okay, I did not get one business inquiry. Okay, whereas this post, again, I just put, and again, I use stars to sort of highlight what I was talking about, a new exciting feature on LinkedIn. Well, we're all on LinkedIn. That's exciting. Bex is excited about it. You know, so I'm adding a bit of enthusiasm into it. And then I asked, do you run events or workshops? So again, people can resonate at my potential customers. If they run workshops, they're going to, I do actually. And then it's like, you can now create events on LinkedIn. And I just did a simple video and showed them how to do this. Okay. And again, this just reached, 1,172 views. But I did get 35 comments and 31 likes. But the most important thing is I got 3 business inquiries from this. And that's what LinkedIn is about. So when you're crafting LinkedIn posts, think about your customer, think about your business objectives, think about the structure, but most importantly, think about what you want to get out of LinkedIn. There's no point getting a gazillion views if you don't get any business. It's a waste of your time. So you've got to really think about your brand positioning and really think about what you want to say on LinkedIn and how you're going to structure it to basically lead your customer down that sales journey, that sales funnel, as we call it in marketing, down that funnel to the point of getting to know you, getting to like you, getting to trust you, to then getting to buy from you. And that's how you should structure your posts. So I hope you found that useful. If you found it useful, please do give us a thumbs up. Please do follow my channel if you're watching on YouTube, where I live stream every Monday at 12:30. And again, I will put in the posts, put in the posts, I'll link in the comments a link to my LinkedIn workshop. It's in January. We do an hour a day over Zoom, and I teach you all how to structure posts in a bit more detail than this, but also how to use LinkedIn as a strategy to grow your business and attract more leads, basically, and more customers. So do come along to that. I will put the link in the chat. And if you've got any questions, if you have been watching this on catch up, then please do post any questions in the chat afterwards, and I will come back to them and let you know. Let me just stop sharing here so we know what we're doing. So please do join me where I have guests as well on a Monday. I'm just going to stop sharing. Remove that one. There we go. I'm back. So please, thank you very much for watching. And I'm going to just pop this in the chat. This is my LinkedIn workshop. So if you're interested in coming along, please do book on. It is more popular. I do only limit it to 10 people. So do have a look at that. And if you're interested as well in my social media content calendar, I'll also put the link in there. So if there are no questions, then I will scuttle off once I've put this link in. But please do subscribe to my channel, where I share lots of tips and advice on social media every day. Every Monday. And I will look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks everybody for watching, and have a great week, everybody. Bye.